Hello and welcome to this course on animation. Today we're going to learn an important concept in computer programming, which is if statements. So let's get started by clicking on respawning with if statements. And as always, it gives us some starter code. And I'm just going to run that to see what that does. It creates this ball that goes across the screen. And this is what we achieved in our last lesson. Now the ball's gone off the screen and it's gone forever. Well, it actually just keeps going further and further off the screen. So what I want to do is do some kind of check to say, has the ball gone off the screen? If it has, move it back to the other side of the screen. So we're going to need what's called an if statement to do that. Now, an if statement in some ways is like the forever statement. Remember we learned about the forever statement, and what that does is on line 8, we've got the forever statement, and all these lines that are below that get repeated forever. So we clear the background, we update the x variable, then we draw the circle where that x is, and at 180 with a radius of 20, and then we sleep for delay seconds, and delay seconds we can see up the top is just 0.005. So we repeat those over and over. Clear the screen, update the x variable, draw the circle, and then sleep. And because they're indented, they get repeated forever. Now the if statement's similar in some ways. What we do is we say if, and we put some condition, so like some condition that we're checking, and then we put a colon after it. Just like in the forever statement, see how the forever has the colon after it? The colon signifies a block of code is going to be underneath it. That will repeat forever. But in the if statement, what happens is the block of code that is underneath it, whatever code we write here, underneath and indented, that code gets executed only if the condition is true. So this condition is like a question that we're asking, but it has to be a yes/no question. It can't be like, what's your favorite color? Because that could be any sort of answer. It has to be a yes or a no question. So has the ball gone off the edge of the screen? Yes or no. If it has, then we do this code that's underneath. So let's take a look at that. Now, first, how do we tell if the ball's gone off the screen? That's an interesting question. So here we've set our canvas to 640 pixels wide. Now, we can just use that number to check if the ball has gone past it. So let's say we have our canvas, this is our canvas, and it is 640 pixels wide. So if the position, and remember we're using that x variable to store where we're drawing our picture. So if x was equal to 640, where would we draw the ball? Well, that would be the 640, so we would draw the ball there with a radius of 20 pixels. So in fact, for the ball to be completely off the square, yeah, we're using 20 pixels for the radius. For the ball to be completely off the canvas, it would have to be 20 pixels past the width of the screen. So 640 plus 20 is 660 pixels. So when x is greater than or equal to 660, greater than or equal to 660, we know the ball's gone off the screen. So that's our condition. So in our program, we can use this. Once we've updated x, we can check, we can say, oh, I need to stop the program so I can edit it. We can say, if x is greater than or equal to, and we use the greater than sign and the equal sign for this, if it's greater than or equal to 660 pixels, then do this code here, set x equal to, and I want to bring it back to the left-hand side of the screen. So if I put it back to 0, it would draw the ball at 0 here. It would already be halfway on the screen. I actually wanted to set it to be minus 20, so because that's the radius of the ball, so it's actually off the screen. So I want to set it back to being minus 20. And now, once it's gone off, and only if x is greater than 660 will I set it back to minus 20. If x is still like as it is at the start, minus 1, we add 1 to it, it goes to 0, this line 14 will not run. So now let's have a look at this. We should have the ball going off the screen and coming back. Awesome. Now, if we did it, oh, you can see I stopped it just at the right point. It's not quite off. If I set this to 0 instead of -20, you would see that when it goes off, it's kind of going to just, come on the screen. It's already drawn it half on the screen. So that's why you need to add it, if you want it to look smooth. You start it completely off the screen and it looks much, much smoother. Cool. All right, so now some other things you could try is like maybe changing the color as it's gone past. So let's see, because here, if x is greater than or equal to 660, I am just executing that one statement if that's true, x equals -20. But remember, anything that's underneath and indented I can do. So I can do more than one statement. So I could change the color. So I could say fill, and maybe we'll make it like an orange color once it's gone off the screen. Now, if I do this now, I'm executing two statements. So it comes off and now it goes orange. And it'll stay orange because next time it goes off, it'll set the ball back and still orange, but there's a way we can work on that. But have a play around. What other things could you do? Could you maybe make the ball get smaller or bigger? Have a play around. But this is a really important concept, this if statement. Make sure you understand how this works. We have an if, then we have some kind of condition. And we actually call this a Boolean condition. And that is spelled B-O-O-E-L-A-N. And that's named after a famous mathematician, George Boole. Now, the Boolean condition means that it has to be true or false, like we said. So your question needs to have a true or false answer to it. And then if that is true, we execute the lines that are underneath and indented. Awesome. All right. In the next lesson, we're going to look at how we can use this to really make something that looks cool. All right. See you then. Bye.